one of, stay with me on this, 80 individuals and organizations asked to hand over documents to the House Judiciary Committee. Michael, welcome back to the show, and a good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Joe. I really need to go to Italy with you for a tour.
You are so welcome. You know, I listen. You could bring anybody from the Mueller probe, the Mueller team. They could go with us too, Mike. I mean, they'll be. You got
room for 81 people.
What happened, Michael? And by the way, you're more than welcome to go with us, Michael. We'd love to see it. Lord knows you deserve it, man. I'm telling you, the collateral damage that they cause. I'm so upset. I don't even know where to begin on this, Mike. And we appreciate you joining us this morning. I was saying to Frankie, I'm trying to dance around. I'm trying to have some fun in the morning. But what really is just getting to me, what Nadler has planned. This is the powerful House Judiciary Committee. As soon as the Democrats take over the House, this is all they got to do. And now, Michael, you got a letter from Nadler?
Yeah, I did. You know, the House Judiciary Committee was one of the committees that didn't get in touch with me last year when this was going on. And now that the Mueller investigation, by the way, with dozens of FBI agents and top prosecutors involved in the investigation, now that they've come up with a report that's going to come out any day now that says no collusion happened,
exactly.
Nadler has decided it's time for him to take it up, him and, you know, his crack squad of investigators over at the House of Representatives. I can't tell you, you know, my family, my little girls, my wife, we've had our entire life on hold for 2 years.
Yeah.
And now that it's over, now that there's absolutely zero collusion proved by the best investigative team our country could offer, the Democrats have decided that it's time to reopen this thing and see if they can harass people a little bit more.
You know, you didn't get a subpoena. This is just a letter, and if you don't answer the letter, they will subpoena you. How does this work, Michael Caputo?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a lot of people in the Republican side of things that are really fed up with this, talking about how all 80 people should refuse to answer the questions and stand together and resist subpoenas. And, you know, Joe, Republicans, we just don't do that. You know, we it's not something we would do as a party. You know, I respect the House of Representatives, even though it's been taken over by people who clearly don't understand what they're doing over there. So I'm going to answer it. You know, the questions to me were not so many as others. There are some who got 2 and 3 pages of document questions. I got 1.5 a page. I'm going to go in there. My submission is going to be basically a letter that says, I don't have any of the stuff you're looking for.
What
for emails? You're asking me for documents about the meeting in Trump Tower in early June that Don Jr. hosted with those people from Fusion GPS. I was in Cleveland, 500 miles away. I didn't even work for the campaign at the time. They asked me for documents that have anything to do with Russian government officials or intermediaries, which, of course, I don't have any idea what they're talking about. And then they asked me for documents that had to do, with names I don't even recognize on it. So I actually have nothing really to give. And, you know, the problem is I get to consult with my attorneys and basically bring on another couple $1,000s worth of expenses. You know, that my family, they've ripped us apart with over $200,000 worth of legal fees already. You know, there's no rest for the weary in this thing.
So now I was listening to Joe DeGeneva. I think he was with Martha last night, and he said everybody should just plead the fifth. Just plead the fifth. Show up, but don't say a thing, because all they're trying to do is catch you and entrap you into some kind of a perjury. So are you going to plead the fifth, Michael Caputo?
You know, if Joe wants to work for me for free,
yeah,
you know, even pleading the fifth costs money, costs a lot of money.
Yeah,
so I'm not in the jackpot on this. I don't have any documents to give, and if they, you know, I've been talking on the media pretty loudly about this because I think it's a horrible thing to do to Americans.
Yeah,
80 people on this list, and they said it's just the start. There's probably another 80. But here's what's interesting. The day after Election Day in 2018, Molly Hemingway from the Federalists was sitting on the Acela train from New York to Washington, right next to Chairman Nadler. And he was on the phone talking a little loud, talking about how he's going to start up investigations like this one. All he really wants to get at, though, is grounds for impeachment. And he talked for hours on the phone with people describing how he was going to tear apart the Trump administration by starting with low-level people and ripping us apart. And Molly wrote about that at the time, and here it is. What she overheard is coming to fruition. And Stephen Adler thinks that that's the way that America works. I feel really sorry for him.
But didn't the Mueller probe go over exactly what you said, exactly what was in the letter that you got from the House Judiciary Committee, Michael? This is exactly what the Mueller probe went over. They're doing the exact same thing.
It went over
right?
Every bit of it and more. And there are those in there, and on that list that got a couple of pages worth of document requests. And I looked at those documents, and the Mueller probe also went over all of that. The Mueller probe was exhaustive. And these are the Democrats who were saying, we have to let Mueller do his work. We have to protect Mueller. He's a great investigator, an incredible man. And they're now talking about bringing Mueller in to testify because he didn't do enough. This is about tying the president's hands.
Yeah.
This is about stopping his agenda. This is about impeachment. But in the meanwhile, 81 of us and more are getting steamrollered financially by these ridiculous requests for redundant material from the House Judiciary Committee.
Now, you got to go down to D.C., Michael, correct? Do you have to pay a lawyer to address all of these document requests?
No, these document requests aren't subpoenas and they aren't invitations to appear before the committee. They're just, it's the cost of getting lawyers to go through your documents, make sure you don't have anything that they need in the House, and putting together a response, whether it's including pages of documents or like mine, it'll be a single letter that says, sorry, there's no fish left in the pond, right?
Yeah.
And this is what it is. It's a fishing expedition, Joe.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're looking for. They have no idea what they're looking for.
Michael, you went through this, but there's no one in charge. There's nobody in charge in Washington that could stop this. And when the president says, well, we'll stop it, if he said that, then they would vilify him for that. This is a scary time. And I'm glad you joined us, Michael, because you're a living example of what the government, they could do and listen, what a patriot we all are. We're patriots. We love this country. But, man, when that deep state gets fired up and they start picking on citizens, hardworking citizens, family people like yourself, isn't it something we should all have to worry about?
It is. The interesting thing is, we've talked about this before, Joe. I mean, the FBI agents, rank and file, they're all good people.
Yep.
They've been assigned to something that turned up nothing. But here's the problem we have now. All the Democrats are screaming about how Russia was meddling in our elections, and Russia tilted the elections toward Donald Trump, and Russia. You know what? Look at this stuff. We're all living in Russia now.
Yeah.
This is what Russia does to their political opponents. That's and we also know that in 2017 they also shot down Representative Scalise and others on the baseball diamond in Alexandria. I mean, this is what Russia does.
Yeah.
From my perspective, my children's perspective, it's just too expensive. We can't deal with it. Hey, if Joe DeGenova wants to represent me pro bono, I'm right here, baby. I am right here.
He is the guy. Did you hear? We'll let you go, Michael. Appreciate your time. Did you hear how Roger Stone is doing? I know he's got a gag order now. Have you heard from Roger at all?
I'm not under the gag order. I'm under a worse order. I'm not allowed to talk to my friend of 35 years. I hear secondhand that he's doing okay. People that think, if they're listening, Roger's really hitting it hard, getting hit really hard with financial costs. I've got a fundraiser up at Roger Stone, GoFundMe.com.
Okay.
He's going to have over $2 million in legal fees. Thanks a lot, Joe.
All right. Michael, thank you, my friend. Michael Caputo right there. Thanks for taking the time.